Welcome back. Yes, finally, after a little bit more than 1 year since I blew up my engine, it's back. It's now rebuilt. It looks pretty nice. The valve cover were repaint and the intake too. Looks like brand new. And the block 2 was a repaint. Okay, a little recap. What I did with the engine. So 2 years ago, I've put an Eagle forged crank, and this year I changed the rod and the piston. For the rod, I've put the Molnar connecting rod. The pistons are diamond. The head, they were already ported, but they are stuck with a little porting in it and a stainless steel valve. And that's it for the engine. And a little cam. It's a comp cam 212. That's it. As for the injector, because I blew up my my injector, I blew up I blew up my engine because of an injector, and the result is this. So the injector that was bad was this one, the number 6. So I decided to change all the injector, and I've bought a set of turbo tweak 80 pounds with the chip, of course. And if you have watched my previous video, I changed the fuel pump and the fuel line too. I will put a link in the description, or you can watch here. So next step, of course, is to put the engine in the car. And for now, I will check that all the bolts are at the right place. I've took a lot of pick before removing the engine, so I think I will be able to relocate any bolt that are not at the right place. The easy part is done. Installing the engine is really easy, and it's not so long. What I did, I removed the driver's side front wheel, and with the engine rack, the engine support, I push it on the side and installing it like that. It's really easy. It took me I think 30 minutes with my girlfriend. So the next part is, I think, a little bit harder. It's the transmission. I will raise the car high enough, and I will show you how I do it myself for mounting the transmission on the engine. It's not that hard, but it's a little bit time consuming. The transmission is almost on the jack. So what I did, I put a wooden block under the transmission and raise the tail and slide another wood block under the transmission, and so on. Now I will slide the transmission on the jack, and I will have to to put another big block under the between the jack and the transmission, because my jack doesn't raise high enough for bolting the transmission to the motor. The trans is finally on the jack. I've put two more pieces of wood, and now I'm ready to mount it on the engine. The torque is installed. Sure, I did a mess every time. Lot of wires. Anyway, not a big deal. So let's mount the transmission onto the engine. The trans is in place. I know it's not the prettiest way of installing it, but this is only what I have. The only thing I need to do is to put the bolt on the trans to the engine. Also, when installing, when installing the transmission, pay a close attention to the kickdown wire. One time I've pinched the wire between the trans and the engine, and I squeeze it. So pay attention when you were installing the transmission. Day 3 of my reinstallation engine. Yesterday I made some progress. The transmission is almost done. The only thing I need is to reinstall the tube for the oil level. The O-ring, the seal is broke, so I'm waiting for the new seal. Also, yesterday I checked the position of the cam sensor. What I did for checking the cam sensor is, some say to remove to leave all the plugs in the cylinder and remove only the cylinder number 1. This is the first one here. But for me, I find it easier to remove all the spark plug and to leave the number 1. And when you turn the engine, you will hear the compression on each cylinder. But when it's on the cylinder number 1, it's way harder to turn. You know you are in compression. And let me show you. Oops, sorry. Like everyone said, you have to put a tape on the balancer to measure 1 inch 45. So the first line, the first line here is the top dead center, and the second line where the 0 is past is 25 degrees past the top dead center. And when measuring the cam sensor, what I did is just put a little wire in the middle on the pin, and it should measure 0 to 2 volt. For me it was 1 volt. And when you turn the cam sensor, you know it would raise to 7 volt. So you know at 1 volt you are correct. Like this is the way I did. I'm sure there is a other way, better way, but this is the way I did, and for me it works. It's working good. So next step is to reinstall the fuel rail with the new injector. Oh yes, I forgot something. When checking, sure everything is unplugged on the engine. So when checking the cam sensor, you have to plug this connector on the the module on because you will have no voltage at all. So the next step is to install the fuel rail like I said and plug my new fuel line. Let's hope it will fit correctly. The return, I think I will be okay, but the feeding line, I'm not sure. Also, I ordered a wideband gauge. It's the Innovate, the PSB1. This gauge do the EFR and the boost. So instead of installing a new gauge, I will remove my old boost gauge and I will use this gauge only. So I will have both the boost and the EFR. Day 4. Today I will try to install my EFR and boost gauge Innovate PSB1. I have to pass this cable, this cable with this connector into the firewall. Just there. Not sure you will see clearly. Just there. Here. I hope I will be able. Anyway, I have to. Also, on day 3, I made some progress. I installed the fuel rail with the injector and the fuel line. The return is the return is just there, and it's under the EGR. Can't focus, sorry. Okay, it's just under the EGR module, and she's right there. And for the feed, in my earlier video, I've passed the feed into the frame. You see the hole here into the frame, but she was too short, so I have to remove it and pass it under the frame, and I'm not sure you will see it, under the frame and the fuel. Yes, under the frame and the oil pan, and she passed here. She's away from the exhaust, so she will not have heat. Today was a really good day. I did a lot of things. As you can see, the turbo is installed. The downpipe is connected to the turbo. Also, I forgot to mention that on D3, when installing the injector and the fuel rail, I installed the new injectors harness. As you can see, I did a little loop on each harness because it's a little bit longer than the original one. Also, as you can see here, this is the map sensor for the new gauge. The gauge is installed and it's almost working. Only thing I need to do is to install the sensor, but the gauge is working. I connect the wire to dim. I connect the wire to the lighting switch, so it dim a little bit when you open the light. Don't know if you see it. Just a bit. Anyway, so I'm almost done with the car. Only thing I need to do is to finalize the new gauge, installing the sensor on the dump pipe, and installing the intercooler, and of course put oil and Prestone and coolant in the engine. That's it. I'm really happy with the progress. It's a good job to do. You have to make sure you don't forget anything, and yeah, of course you have to take your time. Finally, reinstalling the engine is complete. The only thing I need to do is to put the oil, the coolant, and change the spark plug. The gauge is installed, like I said. The sensor is installed. The cable I routed behind the coil pack. Inside it looks clean. So the next video will be the startup of the engine. First time since the rebuild. I'm a little bit stressed. Of course, I verified everything twice, but it's easy to forget something. Also, yes, I installed the boost controller, the RGC boost controller. I don't like the way it hangs, so I will do a little bracket that I will bolt here and on the controller. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed reinstalling my engine since a long time, when my engine blew a little bit than 1 year. Anyway, let's get this engine start on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.